I'm trying to figure out a spot where I can go where like the sun is not in my eyes, but it is just sunny everywhere. So give me a second. Let's see. Yep, that's too sunny. How'd the phone? I look like I live in the desert. I hate this background. Hold on, let me fix this. Okay. I am out of breath. That was a little bit of work. So I did not plan on like cleaning up before I can film. So I did some of the leaves. I just put it in a pile. Look at this bark again. Look at it. Oh, I mean, look how big these pieces are. It's like a never-ending story. Do you remember that movie, The Never-Ending Story? Oh, I mean, look at this. Look at this again. I mean, it's not as bad as what it was when I first did it. But, like, I can't even make this up. All right. So, it's not real bad, but, oh, Lord. All right. So, I'm all the way at the end of my property, and that's where I film at. In the shade. I usually do it here, but it's a little too sunny. I had brought my rake out here anyway, because I was going to clean up, but I'm like, let me film because something amazing happened that I learned today, and it was just so good that I wanted to make sure that I film before I get all dirty and all that kind of stuff. Hold the phone. Now I'm crooked. This is why I say the boys have to put the dirt down because like it goes down like this and then I'd have to hold you like this and it's a pain in the butt. Let me... Nope. Okay, I think I got you where I want you. I just can't lean back because I'm going to fall. Over there where I like to film, like by the behind the tree area thing where I started earlier, it's like about 2 o'clock, so it's right in the afternoon where like the sun is moving. So like you see how like this right here is sunny, but I'm shady. So over there like half my face is sunny and then shade, and I don't know. After this video, I'm going to do a members video, and so hopefully maybe by that time I can just sit there because that's a pretty sight. It's so ugly and boring. At least before I cut the branches off, you know, like they were green. It was some type of color. Now it's just like dirt and brown and like, you know, and it's like freaking me out. I don't know why. Little things like that. That is my OCD and where my brain doesn't shut off. But I can't do anything yet until like I get the dirt. And I need to like cut this stuff because I have stuff like I'm going to do to make the tree look pretty, like the lights and all that kind of stuff, but I can't do any of that until I get that done. Anywho, enough about that. When will not be a Anne's vlog, a Anne's video without me complaining? I can't help it. Really quickly, I know this is not my beauty channel, but I asked on one of my, I think it was either my BoxyCharm or my Ipsy Icon box, which my Ipsy Icon box will go up tonight. Today's Tuesday when I'm filming. But I learned this, I've been doing this for, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks now, and I absolutely love it. It's like a makeup routine where I don't use liquid foundation. I have no liquid foundation on. I do have a little concealer, very little, where I kind of put it on, a little on my face and smear it around. It's kind of like really having a tinted moisturizer on, but probably less than a tinted moisturizer. And then I go in, I kind of do like the opposite effect, where I go in this like bronzing oil and then my cream blush, bronzer, highlighter, and then I go in with a powder on top of it. And I don't know how to explain it. And so it still has like a dewy look, very healthy look, but it looks airbrushed. Does that make sense? Because I don't use filters when I'm filming. When I do my Snapchat ones, of course, you know, or like my thumbnails are edited. I don't know how to Photoshop, like, I don't know how to tuck this in. I don't know how to like tuck my stomach in or make my boobs bigger or smaller. You know, like that type of stuff, but I know how to like to airbrush or take some wrinkles off, like do a soft blur, like I could do that stuff, but I don't know how to do like, you know, any of that other stuff. And so this is what my skin really does look like in person. And I do have a little mascara on, the lipstick, because I need some type of color otherwise, you know. But you can either do like, and then like the eyeshadow, I have a little on, very little, but it's my powder bronzer, which I didn't put, I don't have any powder products on, like, anyway. My point is, let me know if you guys would want to see that. It's like my 10 minute or less beauty routine that looks really, really good. I get so many compliments wherever I go because it looks very natural. It's like a no makeup look. Does that make sense? And I think like for our ages, we can't do the things that like 20-year-olds can, right? And so I don't know if you'd be interested in it. I would keep it on my beauty channel, but you know, you guys can always watch it. But let me know if that is something that you're interested in, because on that channel, I've always done unboxings. I have been saying I want to change it up. But when I get to the part about what I learned today, you know, it'll kind of go with that. And so I will still do my unboxings, but I'm like, if I don't have an unboxing, then I don't film. So I am going to do my unboxings, plus get more into the beauty, like my empties. I want to take that channel back to the old school YouTube where I show my empties. You know how they used to say talk trash or trash talk or what have you? And so I use up all the product, could be skincare, makeup, whatever. And then I give a full review because I used it all up. Would I repurchase it? Would I not? I want to do like my favorites video and stuff that I don't like. You know, like 10-minute makeup routines or whatever, and just like kind of put that over there as well. I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I have to kind of like sit back a little bit because my back has been hurting lately. And I think most of you guys know I was on pain medicine for over 17 years. Prescribed. I went to a pain management after my car accident in 2006. That's the one with Isaiah got really hurt and Lexi and all that. Anyway, I got off of my pain medicine through Suboxone, which I'm off of everything now. And so I occasionally, my back, you know, and I refuse to get on pain medicine again. So I might go a week or so, sometimes with my back, or a couple weeks, or I sometimes if I move it wrong or what have you. So like the most I'll take is like a Tylenol. I take 2 Tylenols and 2 ibuprofens. And I know ibuprofens aren't good for the kidneys, but, and it does actually help. It really does. I mean, you know, it takes the edge off. So if you see me moving a lot, I'm just trying to get comfortable, you know. All right, so I already did a walk and talk. I went to the lake and filmed, but I didn't want to put that up. I wanted to film this and get this up to you first because I think this is really important. Do you ever just, maybe you talk to your friends or something happens, or like if I'm in my therapy appointment or what have you, and it's just like the light goes off and you're like, oh. And it's a teachable moment, a learning moment. And when you learn this about yourself or just in general, it puts everything in perspective. And that's what happened to me today. So we were talking, me and a couple of my friends were talking, and I don't even know how we got talking about it, but we were just talking about how like the difference between the Gen Z and Gen X, you know, us being the Gen X, and how it's just so different nowadays, even the parenting. But like kids, it was talking about how like when we were young, how we did things that you might think like, wow, I can't believe we used to do that. For instance, do you remember the skating rink parties that were all night and you weren't allowed to leave? So once you were in, they literally like locked you in. That way you didn't leave and, you know, get kidnapped or what have you, you know. They were responsible for you. But you started at 13 and you could stay all night, and it was all the way to adults. So you could be in there with 30 and 40-year-old men being 13. But you didn't think of it like that. You know, you just hung with your friends. But what if there were predators or what have you? And I mean, anything could have happened. Because it wasn't like set of age groups like 13 to 15 or 13 to 16 or whatever the case may be, 13 to 18. I even think 18-year-old men shouldn't be with 13-year-old girls. Hold on, I really need to get comfortable. Okay, I am so sorry. I know it's probably annoying that I'm moving and all of that. So those that get motion sickness and stuff, I am. But I have to be where I can like sit up straight. I'll just hold it so that you guys don't fall. Anyway, and it was like crazy. But, you know, there were no social media in the late 80s, you know, when I was a teenager, like, or early 90s. And you just didn't think about that stuff. You know, it wasn't really talked about a lot. Like, I've shared this before. I mean, like condom commercials, they didn't put that on until after 10 o'clock at night. Monostat, so like if you had a yeast infection or something like that, you didn't know about that stuff. Tampons, and I didn't even know there was a such thing as tampons, you know, when I was growing up, you know, because it just, that stuff wasn't talked about, and you didn't see all that on TV. If there were movies that had like sex scenes, I mean, they were rated R. You weren't even allowed to go in there unless you were with an adult, you know, or it was on HBO or something like that where you had to pay for it. But it's just so different, you know. You couldn't just open up your computer and go and see the things that you can see now. So you just didn't know. At least I didn't. I was very naive. And things like that. It's like, wow. It's crazy. I remember I've shared the story when I was in 3rd grade. How old are you in 3rd grade? 8? And I would walk to school by myself and walk back. And that's the time I remember I shared the story where I didn't come right home. And I went over to my friend Loretta's house and my grandmother went looking for me. And oh my God, that was terrible. You know, and I mean, who does that? Like, that's just what happened, you know? I mean, you were made to go outside and play, and you had to be back by a certain time before, you know, like when dusk started, you had to be back. But they didn't say, where are you going? You could have been, I might have had limits like you can't go past this street or you can't go over here. So you knew that. But you just did whatever you want. Your parents didn't like, you know what I mean? You could have been anywhere, you know? Oh my gosh. And so it started like that. And then we started talking about how, like, kids nowadays, they don't go out and play. And I've shared this many times because I noticed it more that I do my walk and talk. So when I go to the park or the lake or what have you, the playgrounds or whatever, like if there's a park with a playground, like you don't see that anymore. Kids are at home playing the game, the Xbox, the this or that. And then one of my friends was like, well, you know, maybe a lot of times the parents can't afford things now, you know, like they used to, because everything's so expensive, like to let them go out, like to the movies and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, but a bike? And I'm like, because if parents can afford an Xbox or a PlayStation, or I don't understand why young kids have, what are they called, Octoluses or whatever like that. Like, I don't even have one because I'm an adult and I can't afford it. But like, my kids never had one and they're old, they're an adult, you know. But like, if you can afford all that stuff for your child, then you can afford a bike for your kid and make them go outside and ride a bike. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. And so that's how it started. And, you know, and then she goes, but kids don't miss something they never had or not used to. And then we start talking about COVID. You know, for 2 or 3 years, these kids were like locked in the house, especially if they're at that right age. And then I start thinking, because, you know, like when I talk about my father, you know, my father passed at the age of 33. I was only 6, but, you know, my mom and dad were still legally married, but they were separated. So I didn't see, I think the last time I seen him, I was like 4, maybe 5. I don't remember what he looks like, what he sounds like, anything about him. And so I get asked a lot, like, do you miss your dad? And it's like, you don't miss something you never had. I miss the father, having a father, being able to say dad. It's the what if or what, you know, that, but I don't miss him because I don't know him. And so I always say that, but I never thought about it like that. I'm like, that's true. You know, us as an adult, because we know that story, we know what it's like to go outside and play and to do all that kind of stuff. But, you know, the Gen X is us. And I got a cough, it's the pollen or something. Hold on. I am so sorry. This video's all over the place. And then I'm up close and personal because I have to hold the stupid thing. So, I don't know. Anyway, you know, that's all that they know. They don't miss something. How do they don't know to go out and play. And that's what you do, especially if you're not made to do it. You know, you're not taught to do it. You're allowed to get up, do whatever or go to school, what have you, come home, do your homework, of course, and then do whatever you want. And you don't have to go outside and play. There's kids that the only time they go outside really is if they have to wait for the school bus or what have you. And, you know, because then we started talking and this is where the eye opener came for me. I was like, you know, we were talking about the 90s and the late 80s and different things. And I go, you know, I miss the 90s. I really miss the 90s. You know, I miss that closeness, the getting dropped off at the mall, you know, like around 7 o'clock or whatever, 6 o'clock. And then remember the mall closed at like 8:30 or 9. And then you got picked up. And a bunch of everybody, you just got with your friends and you seen your other friends and you walked the mall and your mom gave you maybe $10 or what have you. And that was able to get pizza or something to drink, or if you needed something, whatever, you know. And it was fun. Or, you know, we would go to this in the next town over, the next city. It was called the Boulevard. It's still called the Boulevard. It's a street. And that at night on the weekends, this is more when I was like 17, 18, 19, well, maybe about 16 and up, where we just had the car or had somebody pick us up and the cars just parked and we all hung out. You were drinking or whatever the case may be, but everybody hung out. You didn't see, there was no phones, but or like texting like that, but like you didn't see people doing that or on their beepers all the time or what have you. So people looked in the eye and you talked and you gossiped and you played and you know, all of that. Life didn't just go by. Like now, if you even go to the mall, people even go. Last time I went to the mall, it was like a ghost town. It was so sad. It makes me want to cry, you know? And then if you do, the kids are just like on their phone as they're walking or what have you. It is sad. Or you see them filming, vlogging. I mean, I know I do that too, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's like social media, everything involves around that or whatever. And so I was saying, like, that's why I miss the 90s. But then it's like, well, yeah. And then also some of the stuff is like very questionable. And it made me think, like, you know, I'm 49, right? And like, even if I had my friends 5 years younger, like the friend I was talking to, she's like 5 years younger, 5 or 6 years younger than me. And even though that 5 or 6 years younger is a different like generation kind of like, right? And then like, especially if they're raising kids or younger, and then the COVID, or if you had kids at a young age and you just used to being in the with your kid, or whatever the case may be. You know, I am at a point in my life where my kids are grown. And now it's about me. I had kids at a young age. I was 18 when I first got pregnant. You know what I mean? I had my first son at 19. And it's like, so it kind of like, not stopped my life, but you know what I mean. As far as hanging with friends. And then you guys know I got clean and everything when I was in my late 20s. And so that's when I really stopped hanging with people and socializing and different things. And so now it's like, I don't know, the last 10 years, it's like, okay, now I want to socialize and this and that, like, you know, and maybe other people in my life, just in general, nobody specific before anybody thinks, oh, there she goes, I'm just talking. They're in a different phase of their life. Or even people I'm friends with that are older than me are in a different phase, where they stay at home and all that stuff. Does that make sense? So it's nobody in particular. And it's like, that made me understand that, oh, so it's not me. It's not because of me. Hold on, the sun's starting to, see, the sun's starting to go here. Oh my gosh, hold on. The devil is a liar. See, I'm getting ready to teach a teachable lesson, and you see, but I'm going to do it. So now the sun is kind of shifting and going that way. So where I wanted to sit originally, now the shade's here. So that's good. It's just, see? So I got to hold it like this, but that's okay. And what was I saying now? And when I learned that, like, it all made sense. Like, if that's all people know, and that's what people are used to, like, it's the change. I think I'm realizing that it's hard for me to accept change. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a people person. I like to be in person and this and that. But I have to realize not everybody is like that anymore. Times have changed. And even though that sounds so stupid, like such a small thing, it has opened my eyes. Like, I literally had tears in my eyes. Like, not cry, like boo-hoo, like sad, of happiness. Like, I get it. Another example, we were just talking about my beauty channel. Well, when I started, right, I was 40, almost 41. I've shared this before. And I started doing unboxings. I started getting back in makeup and all of that. And when I started that channel, I was like 60 pounds heavier than I am now. I was very depressed, very insecure. I didn't know anything about hair fibers. I wore the wrong type of ponytails that didn't match my hair type. You know, all of that. Whatever. And I was just very insecure. Then I went from wearing no makeup at all for a number of years to full faces, because I came on and I seen Nikki Tutorials and Jaclyn Hill, and they're young enough to be my kids, so I can't wear makeup and full face makeup like that. But I didn't know any better. Oh my God, I used to go to Isaiah's baseball practices and games. No wonder why they stared at me. It was terrible. I just got in it. I got very lucky because beauty boxes became a thing. It was trending. It was very popular. This was before TikTok and shorts, and so it was like long form videos and all that type of stuff, right? And the drama channels also took off because of the beauty content. So everybody watched beauty content. And so it was nice to do because I would get 40, 50, 60. I mean, there were times I did a Bully Make unboxing, which is a dog subscription with Nala when she was a puppy, and I was getting over 200,000 views. That's how my channel grew. The lowest views I would get, and I think it was a Mint Mongoose, a jewelry subscription, and so of course a lot of people didn't watch that, would be like 10,000 views. And I used to complain about that, like, oh, I only got 10,000 views. Now I can't even get 3,000 to save my life over there. But then when COVID happened, I've shared this many times, but I'm going to get to the point, you know, people ended their subscription boxes, of course. Is it bills? Because a lot of people lost their jobs or got laid off or whatever the case may be. So was it beauty boxes or paying your rent and bills? Of course, it's your bills. You're going to put food in your house, you know, and all of that. But people were still watching, but then it got to where, well, why watch if they weren't getting it, right? And so that's what happened. And the views went down, and I didn't want to accept change. And TikTok, like, I still don't have a TikTok. And I have the conspiracy theory, like, I'm not going to put my information and then trying to get my information, you know, the conspiracy theories, you know, or what have you. And I didn't go to the shorts and do short form content, or like take videos that I already did and make it a minute long, like take the funny part, like do anything. I didn't like change. I still film on a phone instead of getting better quality, a camera. And I understand when you're vlogging, but I'm talking about on my beauty channel, right? I edit, I do everything on my phone. And, you know, then I'm complaining, well, why my views are low. Well, I didn't change with the time. And so I started thinking about me, like, well, then I'm not going to film. People don't like me anymore. Is it because of the drama that I was in? Is it this? I always thought it was about me. And some of it, absolutely, of course. But no, it's because times have changed. And I didn't change with the time. And so all these couple of years now, I'm like, well, I'm going to film and I have an unboxing. I'm not going to do anything else because then YouTube doesn't promote my videos and I'm shadow banned, and which I am. But it's like, you know, and what that means, like, because some people ask me, it's where like YouTube doesn't promote your channel at all. Doesn't send out notifications. Even if you type in BoxyCharm, you won't see a video with me in there. You'll have to scroll all the way down. I used to be like one of the first 1 or 2 videos that would pop up. So that's what I mean. They don't promote me, anything. And it's because of my inconsistency and all of that stuff. It's my fault. And I didn't change with the time. It made me like not want to film. I used to love YouTube. It was fun to me. And now, like, on that channel, it's like a job, and a job that you don't want to go to. You know, when you like hate your job, not that I hate my job, I'm just talking so that you can understand. It's like when you hate your job, but you have to go. So it's like any excuse to call out. You know what I mean? And that's what would happen. And why I didn't film a lot over there. But I did this to myself. And that's what I had that aha moment. People didn't unsubscribe or stop watching or what I mean, of course, some of it could be me. It's other things people are interested in, you know? And because I didn't change with it, I know I keep repeating myself, but you got to understand, this was like an aha moment, and it's still like, wow. That I got up and I got dressed and I'm like, I'm going to film. I was excited to film. I know it sounds so stupid, because I don't take it personal anymore. is not a personal attack at me, if that makes sense. Now, I'm being dramatic. I never had a personal attack, but you know what I mean. I would ask you guys all the time on the poll over there, what do you guys want to see me do? But then I wouldn't do it. Why? Because I didn't like change, because I got used to unboxings. So either I need to change with the time, start doing more do shorts over there in general, do shorter content, keep my unboxings, but do other things over there that people want to see. Or I just shut the hell up and stop complaining because it's my fault. And then that's also what made me also like, oh, I get it. Sometimes we expect too much in all aspects, in parenting and friendships, in marriage, in my YouTube channel, all of that. And sometimes it's just something so small, but we make it in as a big thing and we take it personal. Even comments I get sometimes. If there were people that I knew were subscribed to me for a long time and always supported and gave me great comments, and then they give me one that's like a criticism or what have you, I'd get offended. And then I would have to clap back or say something sarcastic back or what have you. And they get mad if they unsubscribe or don't comment anymore. When it's just constructive criticism. I don't know, I just have that outlook differently. Okay, I'm back. I'm over here now because the sun started coming out over there again. I'm like, what in the world? I can't win. Like, I'm too worried about how the sun looks and when. It doesn't matter. You guys don't care how I look, you know. What I'm saying is just stop the complaining. And not everything I need to take so personal. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making sense. You guys probably already clicked off because I know I'm repeating myself 100 times. But it was just such a teachable moment that I need it. You know, I always say, do as I say, not as I do, right? But I don't practice what I preach. And maybe I need to. You know, so when you're down, and I also think like when we're depressed and going through things, it's, for me at least, it's very easy to take things so personal. But we can't. You know, I always say, what other people eat doesn't make you shit, right? Or vice versa. In other words, what other people say makes no difference on your life or to you. But I didn't practice what I preach. Or, you know, I ask all the time, tell me your thoughts and opinions. But then I get defensive sometimes. Well, I think I will always get a little defensive when somebody talks about my parenthood or my adult kids still living with me or what have you. Because then it's like, you're pushing a little too far. That don't concern you. That has nothing to do with you. I'm not asking anybody to pay my bills. I am not asking for their opinions. How should I handle this? Like, can you imagine? Just take it back. Like, if you're going grocery shopping or what have you, and I'm your friend, and you're showing me what you got, and I'm criticizing everything that you bought, especially what you do for your children. You know, it's that mama bear comes out. Like, what? And I think that's what it is. It's like I was, you know, I'm sharing my life and what I'm doing. I'm giving you like a lot of my personal life, but I'm not asking for your opinions on it, like what I'm buying, what I'm shopping. Not that I'm saying people do that. I'm just making as an example. And so I think I will always be a little when it comes to that. But as far as like, and that's just natural. I'm a human, right? But as far as anything else, it's like I just look at things differently. Like, I want the constructive criticism. Because how can I make changes? Not saying that just because people say it means I need to change. That's not what I mean. Because I am who I am. But I'm saying in general. Like, if you don't tell me, I don't know. Right? And so I want that. And I got to learn to stop taking things so personal. Because it's not. It's not an attack at me. You know? I hope I'm making sense. And I got to stop saying that because I notice when I'm editing, I'm always like, you know, or I say, okay, you know, or whatever. I'm always saying, okay, so, you know, like that. Or I'm always like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But also, I did get a couple messages, and I see you, I hear you. So I just want to talk about this really quickly. You know, like I'm always talking about my, members, and you know, then makes people feel bad that can't afford it or what have you. And I don't mean anything by that too. Sometimes not all the time, but sometimes I film a couple videos in one day. And so if something's on my mind, I talk about it because I'm a talker. And especially when I think about something, example, anytime I go to the lake, it'll be on the video the next time. I share again. This reminds me of my mom, and we sat right here and with the chair and we put our feet in the water to our ankles. I share the same story. It's because I come there, I look at the lake and I see the pictures in my mind of me and my mom and my kids. And then it comes out. So it's just, I've always been like that, you know, I don't know. And anyway, so when I'm filming, even though they might be different, but do you see how the sun now is coming this way? Even though, like, so I might repeat myself, but I have to remember that I film a video and it goes out that one day. And so if let's say I film 3 videos in one day, then that's 3 days worth of things. So you come back for 3 days, I'm saying the same thing. But in reality, it's only just been that one day. All right, I think we're good here for a little bit. I have to hold this because look, see? I don't know. I'm just gonna let it be crooked. It's the end of the video anyway. Maybe it's not even crooked. Sometimes I say that because it looks crooked to me, and then when I'm editing, I'm like, Ann, what are you talking about? It's not crooked. And also let me know, like, is it too close up and personal? Like, do you want to see like me further back? Right now, like I'm trying to get out of the sun, but like, let me know too. In the car vlogs, I can't help that, you know, because it's, but like just in general, let me know. So anyway, about the members, and so I do have to keep that in mind. But also, I share it too, just to let you, because I don't know how I'm so used to people not getting notifications or not seeing the community posts. Now, I know some of you will say, I always see them. Well, those that always see them is because it's always recommended to you guys. But for the majority, they're not. And so I'm like, well, let me just say, in case one of the members didn't hear this. So, or let them know that I have a video coming, to be on the lookout. If that makes sense. And I don't think of it like, oh, I'm throwing it in your face that I'm, you know, sometimes I just talk and I don't mean anything by it. And so that stuff I have to take into consideration too. You have to remember, I haven't even had members 3 months yet. This is very new to me. But just know, nothing I'm doing on purpose or to make you guys feel bad. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing different over there. It's just, it's extra content. I do more content on my vlog channel. On this channel, I do more content. Over there, it's just extra content or things that I share that I would never share on YouTube anyway. So it's not like I'm taking my personal information that I used to share with you guys and then bringing it over there. No, it's stuff that I wouldn't even talk about anyway if I didn't have members. But over there, I figure, oh yeah, I can share it. Does that make sense too? And that's just, I can't help that, you know. If that you want to hear like my real personal stuff and the juicy stuff, then I do apologize. But then you do have to pay for the members, you know, but I wouldn't have shared it anyway. So don't take that offensive either. And I'm gonna stop always apologizing too, because I noticed I do that too. But I really do mean it when I say it. But I gotta stop taking things personal. See what I just shared a whole, I don't know how long this vlog is, of saying don't take things personal. And then see what I do? See what I just did? Learning. I'm learning. I'm still learning. ING. Alright guys, don't forget to like the video, dislike the video. Make sure you leave a comment. Commenting really helps with engagement, even if it's just an emoji. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, stay healthy, and most importantly, always stay you. Never let somebody take you out of your character. I want to say category all the time. Do as I say, not as I do. Bye guys.